You ready to do this?
Yes, I am. Hi, I'm Jerry,
Hi, I'm Inamis.
and we're lifelong New Englanders.
And after 20 years of being married, we've learned a couple things about each other. Number one is we do not like the cold anymore.
Number 2, 60-hour work weeks, long hours, high-stress jobs. We're not feeling that anymore.
And number three, we'd really like to.
Retire early.
So here we are, and welcome back to our channel. In our first vlog that we did, we talked about ourselves as individuals, and then we ended it with where we met and how we met. And we're gonna delve a little bit into the first 6 months of our relationship, which is really important to set us off for the rest of the 20 years that we've been together. And that's really related because we went on one of our first trips together within a couple of months of going out with each other. And then, of course, we took a plane and went on another big trip together, and we'll get into that. But I think it is important to note that the reason that we're recording this again is because it's a memoir for ourselves, a journal, and really to teach others maybe that they're in this same stage of their life about the things that we discovered now and the decisions that we made now, that we made at that time, really helped us, educated us to where we are today. And we really truly believe that those first couple of years made a difference as to where we are right now.
Huge.
Yeah, so we were going out, and that was we had one of our first dates.
First date.
At the Red Sox, and I think it was I believe it was in July. I think I might have a ticket stub. We'll place it in the video here so you can see it. But yeah, that was a pretty exciting night. We went home, had a great time, and then we were just inseparable after that.
Mm-hmm. I thought you were going to talk about who I thought I was going there for.
Nah.
Okay. Love you, Dinesh.
So after we went on that date, what happened? What did you decide to do? We went on a couple more dates after that. We went to one date, which was The Notebook, which was a pretty heavy subject, right? It was a love story, but it was also about Alzheimer's. And I didn't know that your grandfather had Alzheimer's, and that you were dealing with that. And
I was literally dealing with it while we were watching the movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, it hit hard.
Yeah. So I did discover that Jerry, unlike me, has many feelings. His entire family has many feelings, yes. And crying is okay at the movies.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really sweet. That was really sweet.
We don't hold in the emotions. You just let them go.
So we had a couple dates, and then on our third date, Jerry asked me a question that was something that he thinks that it made all the other women in his life run away. The question was, did I want kids? And I pretty much got out of the seat and kind of pushed my chair in, and then he goes, where are you going? I said, well, this is probably our last date. And then he goes, well, just answer the question. So I answered the question, and I said, no, I never want children. And he said, ever? And I said, never. And he said, ever, ever, ever? And I said, never. It is never going to happen. Yeah. At this point, for me, most people would have just walked out. Something different happened.
Not me, though. I'm like, what are you doing this weekend? You want to be my mom? Yeah, a lot of times that would be the last time I would ever have a date with a girl. So
yeah, so third date, do you want to meet my mom? So that's what we did on our fourth date. We met his mom. How did that go?
Yeah, good barbecue. Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah. What did you tell her before you brought me home? I'm going out with an older woman, he said. Are you kidding me? Yeah. He's older than I am. So I walk in, and his mom goes, she's not old.
She's way more professional than me, so she looks older.
He's digging the hole. Like, whatever. I look older?
Yeah.
Notice who has the gray hairs. Thank you very much.
Who has less hairs?
So, so met your mom, met your parents. Did I pass the test?
Yep. You had normal sized feet.
I didn't talk funny.
You didn't talk funny. Oh man. Some of the girls I brought home, my mom was like, nope.
I guess I passed the test.
Yeah.
I think I passed the test also because I'm pretty sure I helped her cook the same day that I got there the first time.
Oh yeah.
So that was really
made
fun.
everybody happy. Love you, Mom.
So after that, what did we do after that?
Yeah, then that was then we had like our first trip, right? Going up to Quebec.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. I had a couple cars. I had a truck and a modified car, the one I modified in college. And the only one that could probably drive all the way up to Quebec was the Civic. It wasn't the quietest car. So yeah, from Boston to Quebec City, that's a good drive. It's pretty long, and yeah. The positive thing is we weren't bored.
No.
Because we ended up counting roadkill.
26. He was like, wow, she's interested in roadkill. This is definitely a keeper, right?
Yeah, totally.
I will say that the reason we took that car, like he said, is because that was the only one that was roadworthy. Because previously, on one of our dates, second date, I think.
Oh, yeah.
We were driving in his truck, and the muffler fell out in the middle of some back road.
Yep.
By Worcester area. We were driving down some road, and the muffler
I just pulled over, put the car in park, walked back down the road, grabbed the muffler, threw it in the back. Like nothing happened.
I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Anyway, so yeah, that was our first, second, and third dates. Yeah, our fifth date was Quebec.
Mm-hmm.
I passed that test apparently.
Yeah.
And then we had Thanksgiving at your house.
Mm-hmm.
Your mom always had a good Thanksgiving.
Well, yeah. Now you're there, you can help her cook. Because she'd cook. Mom would cook, but everyone would go in and throw some spices in there. Yeah, it was enjoyable.
Yeah.
From that point on.
Yeah, it was a good Thanksgiving with his family.
Mm-hmm.
They had a traditional Thanksgiving, and I wasn't really used to it because in Puerto Rico, having a whole sit down with a turkey was not what we did. We always had pork. Sometimes we had turkey, but it was always stuffed with plantains and garlic, so it was completely different. So that was cool, though. So I think at that point we both passed each other's test, and there was one more final one.
There was one more.
Yeah, there was one more final one that we had to do, which was I asked Jerry to come on a trip with me. And I said, well, I have this trip that I was already going on. I can switch my guests to you. Do you want to go? You don't have to pay, just gonna have to pay for your plane ticket. He goes, well, where are we going? And I said, well, we're going to go on a cruise to Puerto Rico. And then he goes, to Puerto Rico? I was like, well, we're going to go to Puerto Rico, get on a cruise, and then we're going to come back after New Year's. He goes, well, okay, sure. I've never been to the Caribbean before. So, that was probably the first thing that he should have noticed, that he was going on a cruise to Puerto Rico. And what followed after that was that we were also going to go for a birthday party.
And I also didn't know that half your family was going to be on the cruise.
Well, yeah, a chunk of my family was on the cruise.
I thought it was just going to be us.
Yeah. So my mom was there, my cousin was there, my cousins from Chicago were there. And then on top of that, there was a big party at my grandmother's house for their birthday party. And then that's when he got to meet the rest of the family. And when I mean the rest of the family, the entire family was there. I kind of failed to tell him that I did have 21 cousins. Kind of left that one out.
Yeah, I failed remembering everybody's name.
Not all 21 were there.
I have two cousins.
But all my mom's uncles, which is my second uncle's aunts, my uncles, my aunts, everyone else was there. He did meet about 15 cousins. We went to about 5 different parties. And this is the first time that he actually danced reggaeton, which is a mixture of merengue, salsa, rap, dance, and just Taino music all mixed in. I think for some of you it's Bad Bunny, of course, or Daddy Yankee, but that's what it was. And I was the first time he actually listened to Gasolina by Daddy Yankee, and I was dying because the man had moves. He forgot to mention one thing. He's actually an excellent dancer. He took swing lessons. He's actually a great swing dancer. And he learned how to dance salsa, merengue, bachata, reggaeton. And he can dance. Probably the first white boy that I've ever been with that actually knows how to dance. You lied to me on that one. You never told me.
I didn't lie. I just didn't tell you. I have to hold some cards back.
So that's where December of 2004, so 20 years from this year, because we're in 2024 right now.
Yeah.
That's how that year ended. And we came back to Massachusetts. His parents were like, "Did you have a great time?" He did have a great time. He ended up loving the cruise.
Yes.
He's never been on a cruise before. He ended up loving the cruise. Now, up to this point, I had already been on a couple other cruises, and I was still kind of on the fence of whether I really liked them or not. Until a few years ago, I was actually still on the fence, but Jerry was instantly in love.
Yeah, it's literally a traveling hotel. You get to go to all these different places, and you don't have to move your hotel.
Yeah.
It's ideal. And you get food.
That's when they still have the chocolate buffets, right?
At midnight. Oh my god.
Yeah, but I think that that the trip to Quebec said a lot about us. Said that we can both be in the car for 7 hours and not kill each other.
Great test.
I think that was one of the first times we've ever stayed in an Airbnb. I don't think they were called Airbnb then. So that was interesting. And then traveled to Puerto Rico to meet my family and sleep together for a week in a 150 square foot room with this much stuff in a foreign country was also another way. Started really connecting a lot of the things that we wanted as a partner. And we didn't even know, we didn't know that it was happening. Did you know that that was what was happening? It was just so natural.
It was just, we just flowed with it.
Mm-hmm. It felt really nice to be with someone that they're just okay doing whatever. I think the only thing that one of the things that we always liked about each other was that we like to drive. You in particular love to drive, and so he got to drive in Puerto Rico, he got to drive in St. Thomas, in Martinique, in Guadeloupe.
That's where I almost killed everybody.
Yeah, we were driving a Jeep, but I think that really did something for our relationship that we didn't know, and it was that we like being adventurous.
Yeah. And that little cruise helped me realize that I want to go experience other places other than the United States.
Yeah. And the other thing that we really, that I think really worked out is that we enjoyed a different country, and we were okay exploring for a little bit so that we can discover if we like that country or if we like the people. Because cruising is different. And if you see it for what it is, which is a buffet that you can choose, you can visit all these things, you can taste all these foods, people, places, and decide if you want to come back for a longer stay. Mm-hmm. How did you? That was your first time cruising.
Exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah. That's a good thing. We can finish our lines.
I was going to use the food analogy.
Is there anything that you would have done differently about that first trip that we were together for almost 2 weeks in a foreign country with my entire family?
I just wish I would have learned that song for Christmas you go knock on all the doors and
The parranda.
yeah.
Yeah.
I still haven't learned that.
It's Puerto Rican caroling. Still do its the best.
That was so weird.
My family
knock on the door. I open the door and there's all these people just singing in Spanish, and I was like, "What? Who are these people?" Then I saw Elba walk by, and it was like, "Hey, that's the family."
They were singing at our door.
I couldn't understand it, but
well, I have to.
at that time,
I keep trying to teach him. He's working on it. So yeah, that was that like I mentioned before, that was the end of 2004, and we ended the year in a really interesting way. We closed off the year in Puerto Rico, came back, and life really changed after that.
yes, our house purchase.
Yeah. So after 6 months of dating each other, we bought a house together.
Yeah.
So we'll leave it there, and then we'll talk about that when we see you again. Thanks again for watching. Please, if you're interested in hearing our story, or you want to learn from us, and I think everything's going to get really good after this. I think every episode is pretty exciting after this. Subscribe, and we'll tell you a little bit more about ourselves and our journey. And again, you can laugh with us. So thanks.
With us.
At us.
Or at us.
At us, definitely at us. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.